This is True Buzz, that Mary J. Now we ain't new to this. For my stoners and for my cannabis enthusiasts, never heard a show as good as this. Number one, it's the best. Bringing in many special guests in the industry of cannabis. Business owners to growers, even artists you know of. So sit back and just roll up. Perfect show for my smokers. True Buzz, hey.
So you asked me earlier, since the fade's coming down just a little bit, what got me to start Inspector Ganja? You know, I used to pick up off the streets all the time too. And I used to love it. Like, you go black market, it is cheaper. But once you start getting bad weed, everything starts smelling the same. You're like, damn. Then you go to the recreational market, and yeah, some stuff is overpriced. A lot of the stuff is overpriced. I That's why I like to do what I do. Yes, I find a lot of weed. That's because now I'm picking stuff that I want to smoke. I look at it, I'm like, that looks good. I like that strain. Let's grab it. But there's just something, different about going to the shops and getting a bunch of new stuff at $60, $70, and it's not good. You know, you see a fresh package day and you're like, oh, this is gonna be, I should have some stick to it. But when you open it, it's brittle, you know,
Brittle.
keefy, like super keefy, hardly any stick. I understand some strains dry quicker than others, but to an extent. There's flower, what is it? Legacy Strains gave me an eighth that was a year old, Master Kush, just for me to examine and stuff that I threw up on YouTube. I mean, on YouTube, on Instagram. And it was over a year old and it had life. It had stick to it. It was keefy, but it had a bunch of stick to it. Rolled up nice. And it pissed me. I was so happy that he gave me that eighth, but it also pissed me off. Like, bro, now every excuse, and knowing that he scales every eighth to he tries to scale it around 3.55 grams. That scale came out to 3.53 over a year old. So anybody that's underweighing, it's not, it could be because it dried out if they're not packaging it right. It could be a bunch of stuff. You got to package it right. You got to get the right size jar. You got to take it out of plastic. There's a bunch of things to it. And if they all were to do that, the flower would stay fresher. And I don't believe it loses that much weight when it dries out, over a year. I've never done that.
I would agree with you. And when you were saying that, it made me think of Source, but like saying all the stuff they would do, like just how like
I love how
like
they
in
pack
soil,
too.
like everything there. I'm like, all right, I see, I see the vision there and the importance
Yeah.
of.
No, they pack right. Everything that I get is over 3.5 usually. 3.55.
That's dope. That what's funny,
What's up?
and this is probably fucked up actually. I'm fucking slacking on this shit. Is I've never weighed when I bought a jar ever.
That's funny. I never did when I first started either. It's some situations happened.
It makes sense. That's how you. That's like. That's why your shit's dope though. Like that's why I appreciate the content you're doing, because like you do that, you take that extra step. Like, and
Yeah.
I don't. I've maybe reviewed like a
it burns
flower
a
or
lot of
two.
bridges though, bro. It burns a lot of bridges.
That's true. That's
Takes a hit.
true. But all I'm saying is personally, I respect it. I can't speak for anybody else,
Appreciate
but
you,
I feel like
dude.
there's other. I'm not the only one.
Yeah.
So I'm just saying, and I respect it too. And like I always, it's hard to tread that line when you're doing a
Penny
review.
pinchers, bro. I fucking love it, man. It's just, I didn't think it was just fun and games when I created that. I'm not even gonna lie. I was just like, oh shit.
Same. That's how it is.
Back in 2019, everybody was packaging under 3.5. Not everybody, but everything I bought was coming under 3.5. I'm like, I need to make a page. Or
Dude,
maybe it
that's
was in
insane,
2018.
dude.
I'm like, I need to make
You
a
know
page.
what's fucked up, dude? I
and do
had
this.
this is what happens when you have too much trust, I'm mad at myself right now. Like,
Yeah.
what the fuck, dude?
Yeah.
I don't know, man. I think there's a lot of I just truly really appreciate somebody doing that.
Dude, there's so many brands though that do things right. You know, I can't name them all, but when you have Cam, everybody is receiving over 3.6. You know, they're doing things right.
And
You got CBX doing it. You know, I've gone through I don't know how many eights. I've recorded a bunch. You know, there I don't throw them out there because there's no point in throwing out a 3.55, 3.53. You know, I want to see how many go over 3.6, how many go under
um,
3.48, 3.47.
y- and that's my
Crazy.
thing always when I was back in the day when I was like slanging shit. I'm like, if you give somebody extra, they're gonna fucking respect that. Like, imagine if there was a brand that you knew when you got an eighth you were getting 4 grams.
Yeah. You would be going back.
Yeah, I know I'm gonna get
But
a fat.
nobody had scales back then.
That's insane though, but
Yeah, it's crazy.
no, like the thing is, I always had a scale in my room too. I just never thought to.
I never bought one. Never thought about it.
I never thought to fucking.
This is True Buzz, that Mary J. Now we ain't new to this. For my stoners and for my cannabis enthusiasts, never heard a show as good as this. Number one, it's the best. Bringing in many special guests in the industry of cannabis. Business owners to growers, even artists you know of. So sit back and just roll up. Perfect show for my smokers. True Buzz, ayy.